Hey babes, my name's Hannah.
And I'm Chasity.
Welcome back to Bookish Babes. Today we're going to be doing a tag called the Reader Problems Book Tag, and we were tagged by Bookworm Dreams, so thank you so much for tagging us. We love their channel. We'll leave it down below. They're another duo like we are. And let's go ahead and jump into the questions.
No, we haven't looked at any of these yet.
No, I actually have. I've watched their video. But
okay, so I read the first one and the second one. But then I was like, I'm just gonna go blind into it.
And then I forgot what the questions were, so it's kind of like our first reaction. But the first question is, you have, hold on, I can't read. You have 2,000 books on your TBR. How in the world do you decide what to read next? I think it depends on the kind of mood that I'm having that month. Or even that day. Like it depends on what I want. Do I want a romance? Do I want a psychological thriller? Do I want a horror?
That would be the way. So I would have to do like different genres because I switch from genres all the time, like what I'm in the mood for. And then I think I would do like a jar.
Yeah. Well, also I go heavily off of like recommendations, things that she recommends to me, or like I just started reading Willow Aster because she's one of Taryn Fisher's editors, and so I'll find an author that I like, and then I'll read authors similar to them, or authors that author recommends.
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of books, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I feel like you can never run out of books you want to read. You're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed?
I am definitely committed. I hate reading a book unread.
Oh, see, reading for me is fun and it's an escape. And so if I'm ever reading a book that it's like a chore for me to pick up, I'm not doing that to myself. I am not above just DNFing it and putting it down.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I have definitely DNF'd.
But like I'm not, it depends on how much I'm not loving it.
Yeah. Because
like if I think maybe it's redeemable, I'll keep going. But if it's like, all right, I don't even want to pick this up anymore, I don't make myself.
Most of the time though, I have to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's a really bad trait. I don't like to leave things open.
The ending. The end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how?
I always try to catch up.
Yeah, I'm very competitive, and if I set a goal for myself, I have to meet that goal. And so that's maybe why I'm so keen on DNFing. Is your dog getting into something?
Yeah, she's doing something. I don't know what she's doing really.
I will DNF a book because it's like a waste of my time for me. I have so many other books that I want to get through and that I need to get through that if I'm not enjoying something, I put it down. And yeah, so I have definitely never had that issue with like meeting my goals because I'm pretty realistic. Like I only aim to read 70 books this entire year. Because I know that that's a realistic goal for me. So
I made the mistake like the first 2 years of setting really high goals.
Like 150, didn't you say?
Yeah, like 150. To catch up, I like do the same thing I do now, which is like read every chance I get.
Yeah, or like reread.
Yeah, definitely.
The covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope?
That drives me crazy.
I'm fine with that.
No, it drives me crazy. I will still I will deal.
I think it also depends on like my favorite series. I need to have them matching. I guess that did say your favorite series or a series you love. But like if I'm just reading a series, I don't necessarily need the covers to match. If I can buy the covers that would match, that would be ideal, but I'm not.
I mean, I'm not opposed. I have mismatched series, but I just really like when they're all pretty together.
We all know how much of a Twilight fan I am. I have all the Twilight books and all the different covers. In fact, just for example, she at Goodwill found Eclipse and Breaking Dawn, the two like matte covers, and I don't own the matte covers, so now I'm gonna add these to my collection, even though I have them in paperback, hardcover, and movie tie-in, and mass market paperback. But that's besides the point. Let's move on. We don't need to talk about my Twilight obsession anymore. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. How or who do you bond with over shared feelings? Yeah.
And her.
Right? But also, I'm okay with not liking a book that everybody else likes.
I'm really okay with it.
Yeah.
There's a very, very popular one that I absolutely thought was
Which one?
trash.
Which one?
It's not yours. You agreed.
What is it?
Come on.
What is it?
It's super popular. There's movies.
Oh my god, Romeo and Juliet?
No.
What are we talking about?
50 Shades.
Oh, that's right. We both hate 50 Shades.
I don't like it.
We also both
Like
hate
at all.
Romeo and Juliet. That's why I thought of that.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, but yeah, we tend to
fine.
have similar views on books, but not always. You'll see actually in our wrap up, there's a book that we don't agree on. And that happens quite a bit, and I'm totally fine with being in the minority. I think that a lot of times I am in the minority, and I'm fine with that.
I like to read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also it's like you can go on Goodreads and find a bunch of people who probably do feel the same way as you. So.
Yeah.
You're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you deal? I don't really cry. You're quite an emotional person.
I am
feel
quite
like you
emotional.
cry a lot.
I do cry a lot.
I don't. I very rarely cry.
So
Can't remember the last time I've cried.
I will.
Do you just let it happen? Do you just cry in
Usually
public?
I kind of just
You're
let
like,
it
it's
happen.
happening. I don't know.
But I get really embarrassed about it,
Mhm.
and then I'll like stop reading and like try to compose myself.
Yeah. See, like I said, I'm not a cry. I don't think this has ever happened to me where I've been in public. I'm not a crier.
It doesn't really happen in public.
No. And I guess if I was, I would. I guess I just let it happen. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
People
right.
already look at me like I'm a psycho, so.
There is one book, like, it's called All Your Perfects by Colleen
Oh
Hoover.
my
I wasn't
God.
in public, but I did not read that book in public. I knew better.
Cried. Yeah.
I was in my bed in the fetal position, sobbing, like ugly cried. My husband came in to find out what was wrong with me, and I could not
That's
even
hysterical.
tell him what was wrong with me. So I was like, it's
So
just
funny.
the book.
When I read The Opportunist for the first time, the ending made me tear up. I didn't cry because I don't cry because I'm a bad bitch, but I teared up.
I cry all the damn time.
A sequel of a book you love just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, or cry in frustration?
I definitely would not skip the sequel. That's for sure not a thing.
No.
Sometimes I will just go in and be like, it'll come to me.
Yeah. I'm not about
Sometimes
I'm a big
I
rereader
reread.
though.
Yeah, sometimes I reread, and then
Or I'll,
a synopsis would be fine too, because
Yeah.
then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's what
I think it
happened.
would come back to me. But like I said, especially if it's like I think even Bookworm Dreams, when they made this video, they talked about like it would depend on how much they liked the prior novel.
Yeah, and for me, I think it would be how much time.
Yeah.
Like,
How much time was in between me reading that and the new one coming out.
yeah, it would.
So I think it would
depend on
depend.
that.
But generally, I would say I probably would reread it. Or I'd at least skim over it. Maybe not reread the whole thing.
Okay, generally, I'd probably just look at the synopsis or just go in blind.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Rereading, like you said, there's so many books to read that I'm just like, let me move on.
You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people no when they ask?
No.
Yeah, I'm not in the business of sparing people's feelings. I'm usually pretty good about letting people borrow my books. However, there are some, like I have like signed copies or like collector's edition copies that I haven't even read yet. Like I've read the book, but I have not read that copy because it's special for some reason and nobody's touching it, and I don't feel bad about that. I spent my money on that, and it's special to me for some reason, and so it's just like my Slytherin 20th anniversary edition of
I'd
Harry
never
Potter
let
and the
anybody
Philosopher's
touch that.
Stone. You're not fucking touching it. I'm sorry. Like,
No.
excuse my language, but it's not
Any
happening.
of my Taryn Fishers, like, it's not happening.
My
And-
signed ones. If it's not signed, I'm not too picky about letting
No.
people borrow it.
See, that's
but-
where I'm different with the Taryn Fisher books.
Really? It doesn't,
Yeah.
even if it's not signed?
Even if it's not signed, I'm
Really?
a real big.
See, like I have a couple of signed Colleen ones, and I have most of Taryn's I have signed because I'll read them on the Kindle app and then I'll order them signed, and then while I'm waiting for them to come in, because they usually take a few months, I will read it on the Kindle, and yeah, nobody's touching my signed editions.
Here's the thing is, I've had like best friends of mine, or relatives that I've let borrow books and have destroyed my books.
See, maybe I've never destroyed
So-
any of your books, but I am really rough on books. So
This is why you
I guess
never
I just
destroyed
kind
any
of,
my books.
yeah,
Because I won't let you borrow them.
Let me borrow them. But like, I brought a book here today. It's literally sitting here on the table that I'm letting her borrow. I'm not picky about it unless it's like a special copy. But yeah, I don't politely tell anybody no. I'm just like, no.
Why do I pretty much tell them what I just told you guys?
Right.
People have ruined my books before.
Reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. I feel that. How do you get over your reading slump?
Usually a reread.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was having like a bad reading slump the beginning of this month, and I reread my favorite trilogy. So yeah, doing something like that. But also, like I said, rereading is a fun thing for me, or not just rereading, just reading in general is a fun thing for me. And so if I'm not enjoying a book, like the question says, I will put it down and I'll pick it back up. I'm pretty good about reading the books that I own. It's just one of those things I might not be in the mood for that subject matter.
That's
but
why
I started 2 books this month. I started The Dirt and I started The Stand by Stephen King. And both of them, I got about a third of the way through, and then I was just like it's not that I wasn't enjoying them. I was in a huge romance mood this month, and so neither of those were obviously doing it for me.
Yeah, I usually have a rotation of like at least 3 books I'm reading.
Yes, yeah, I'm always reading multiple books at once. And when I'm in the mood for a nonfiction, I'll pick up The Dirt, and when I'm in the mood for a horror, I'll pick up The Stand, and at least now I've started it and I know that I like it. So, God, I can't read. There are so many new books coming out to you that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy?
That's a loaded question for me. I work in a bookstore.
Yeah, I used to work in the bookstore.
And I literally want to buy all of them. Do I buy all of them? No.
Here's the thing is if it's a book that I'm really excited about that I really want to read, I do generally buy it.
I would say I do that probably about half the time. I've really been utilizing the library lately.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. And to be fair, our store does not get everything that I get excited about. So
well, I read a lot of books on my Kindle app, and so they're discounted. They're cheaper than if you bought like the paperback. But if there's a book that's out that I want the physical copy of, I just feel like, I don't know, my mom gets mad when I spend a lot of money on books, and literally everybody who knows me gets so mad when I spend money on books. Like, I could be buying cocaine, you know?
Yeah, and my husband doesn't get mad at me that I'm spending the money. He gets mad at me because we have no more room.
That too. I keep having to buy new bookshelves to fit all of them. But I feel like I work hard for my money, and reading is something that I'm really passionate about. And so if it's a book that not a book that like, oh, I'm thinking about reading it, but if it's a book that I'm really excited about that I've been looking forward to, I will buy it for myself. And I'm not ashamed to say that.
Same.
All right, last question. After you've bought the new books, you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Let's not talk about that. Feel attacked. To be fair, like I said, I'm good about getting to my books. It just might not happen for a while.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Yeah, I'll read them. I will read them. And if I don't, once or twice a year, we've actually done it together one time. We go through our bookshelves and we purge books that we've read that we didn't like or that we're never going to get to. And so we bring them, we donate them, and somebody else can use them. So I don't know. I don't know necessarily that I'm upset with how long my books sit there, because they will get read, and if they won't, then somebody else will read them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for us.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun doing this, so thank you for tagging us.
Yeah, thanks Bookworm Dreams for tagging us. Once again, we will leave their video and their channel down below. They're really, really great. They're another duo. You should check them out.
They are. They're very, very good. So definitely comment down below. Let us know if you have any of these quirks that we have.
Yeah.
And hit that like button and subscribe.
And I suppose we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye.